Yeah, it's happened. He gives us the count.
Oh, I get a mic.
Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat, and welcome to another edition of Mural Mondays, where every single week we try to make your Monday better with art, cannabis, and music. Music from the number one DJ, my DJ, the one and only...
B-Dub the Boy Wonder.
That's right. B-Dub the Boy Wonder is with us every single Monday. Heck, he's with us on Tuesdays for Tasty Tuesdays and Freestyle Fridays as well. But today is extra, extra special because today in the building, I have not only my personal favorite photographer of all time, but I think one of the greatest photographers in the entire nation, Roger Batchelor. Thank you so much for being with us, sir.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. This is going to be thick. This is going to be deep. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're dealing with here, okay? There's going to be stories. And in a second after Roger, we're going to talk with really one of my favorite painters and local artists who's doing what I consider to be like kind of Afro-futuristic style, Liz Stuart. And we'll be with her in 1 second. But right now, I want to sit down. And of course, I'm going to purposely sit to the side here because we got a lot going on here, Roger. No, you are a little lower. I'm sorry. Here, let's switch. Here, you go over there, and I'll hand you pieces. Nice. Look at that. Wow. All right. Roger, your pieces aren't just good. They're not just eye-catching and beautiful. But to me, why I gravitate towards your art is actually because of these places you visit, where you go and get these shots. Before we even get into your art, I want to ask you, top 5 places you've ever been in the world, in no particular order. Go.
No particular order. Iceland. The coastlines of Italy. Beautiful coastlines. New York. It's simple, but, you can't beat New York. Sierra Leone, Africa. And probably Greece. All the different islands in Greece, yeah. I'm going to say Greece.
I saw your picture of Santorini the other day. By the way, yeah, thanks. It's just some of your photographs are just so good. It's not even art. It's just bragging. And I want you to know I recognize that. And I appreciate you teleporting me to these places with your art. Let's start there because Santorini hey, Sherman, if you're in the back, I got one of that, like the purple hand thing that we bang the gong with. Can you bring that thing out to me? I need to point at some pictures here. Thank you so much. Anyways, thank you, my lovely assistant, Sherman Moss, Listen Vision's Vanna White. Yeah, thank you, Vanna. Okay, so without, the island is beautiful, but the layout of this picture is really surreal. Can you tell me a little bit about the backstory and how you somehow got all of this to be perfectly in color and visible, but yet all of this is somehow washed out and nearly black and white?
I think I was trying to find something different because there's so many classic images of Santorini that I just wanted something a little bit different to show where you are, but not quite 100%. So it's hard to say how I created it. I just thought the framing was right for that.
Did you mean for it to look like a modern MC Escher painting?
Not really. It was just the way I thought.
Do you see why I say that, though?
I do, but to me, it just looked right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I stopped there and said, okay, I like the way this looks.
You guys, his composition is really incredible, and you'll see it from his work. The reason I say MC Escher is MC Escher was a mathematician, and I wore his tie. I think that was a couple weeks ago. And he did these, images or illustrations where, the stairs would look like they're going down, but then they're going back up, and then this thing looks like it's up here, but then it's underneath this thing, and it was really, almost a visual, trick that he had going on. Some of your photography is so incredibly sharp and focused compared to many, many, many other photographers I've seen. Can you explain how you get, here's a good example. And I know this is blurry and it's making, let's talk about this because the whole thing is in focus. Why are these images so incredibly sharp and perfectly focused?
Sometimes it's luck and sometimes it's anticipating the movement and then framing up the movement to the to your camera settings, really.
Because I suspect this boy was walking.
Yeah, they were all moving.
They were all moving.
They were all moving.
How do you? I know. I mean, this is where I'm hoping that my layman's will be helpful
There's
because
a lot of technical stuff.
there's a lot of technical stuff going on here. But I love art. I really do. And my questions I feel are the same questions that your average person who loves art would ask.
Well, I'm usually intending for you to see something. So if I purposely make something blurry, I'm doing that on purpose.
To draw your attention.
To draw your
in.
attention someplace else. So let your eye wander around.
And where were you in this shot right here?
That's Sierra Leone, West Africa.
This is Sierra Leone. And
water.
I'll tell you, his images are really striking because they're so evocative. They're so emotionally evocative. Look at the image. Look at the expression on this young girl's face. I gotta tell you, I just got chill bumps actually, really looking and taking in her expression. And if you can see, it's either a shadow or a little bit of sweat around her neck, and the weight of that container is visible on her face. Did you know that you were capturing that when you shot this?
Not really, because I was in a car and we were driving by. So I had to shoot 3 or 4 frames and figure it out later.
I'm speechless. This guy is so incredibly good. He sticks his camera out the window of a car, snaps a shot. Accidentally, it's better than every shot I've ever taken in my entire life. Fabulous. Thanks, Roger.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay. Let's go over here, okay? Because Roger is really, really well known for his color work. And when I say color work, I'm not talking about, he colorizes his stuff. I'm talking about he uses the colors in his images in very unique ways. Can you explain what I'm looking at here? Where is it? And how you got such an incredible vibrancy in these colors here?
Well, actually, that's Sierra Leone also. It's it's a major city. It's a lot going on. What I wanted to do with a lot of pictures from Africa, and I made a book of it, I wanted to show some color, some life, and not just, depression or sadness or poverty. So I wanted to show how the people felt more so than the way things look. So in this case, I just decided to up maybe a little bit of orange, a little bit of blue, just to give it a little more pop, because it's a chaotic city. So I wanted to show a little bit of the nature of what's going on, really.
But to me, what's great about when you do really infuse the colors is that, yeah, you might be increasing the saturation or whatnot, but you're not like colorizing things. And
the colors are there.
You're just bringing them out.
Just bringing them
you're
out
deepening them. And in fact, I actually really like. Oh wow! Oh, perfect. Oh, it's already zoomed. Look at that. Look at this woman. Man, Roger, I gotta say.
And that was a car too. I was going by.
Unbelievable that you're able to capture these moments. And I suspect these are everyday moments for these people.
It is.
But you capture them in a way that makes us feel like it's special, a little bit exotic. The colors of that back wall are incredible. Is this Sierra Leone
That's
as
also,
well?
yeah.
So I can quickly see why you love, being in Sierra Leone so much. And what was it just because of the visuals, or what about the cultural and social experience that you had?
It was
there?
actually a medical mission we were doing there. So it was a lot of meeting people. It was the culture. It was the climate. It's pretty much everything. It's just a unique place to be.
Unique place to
Very
be.
unique place to be.
Speaking of unique places to be, and let me see if I can pick it out here. Well, I'm from New York, you guys, so we might as well talk about some of these shots here. I'm assuming that's New York up here, right?
No, that's L.A. actually.
Oh, that's what I said. That's L.A. I have a very thick accent. This is clearly L.A. It's clearly L.A. I don't know what you were hearing. I can tell you I know that one simply because I'm not a Lakers
These
fan.
all be New York.
Okay, thanks. Yeah,
So
no, I know.
Of course you know.
Come on, man. So tell me a little bit about how you got aerial shots of L.A. because that's not your average thing.
I'm hanging out of a helicopter scared. That's how I got that.
You and windows and cameras just have a great relationship, huh?
I guess. It was the first time trying. I wanted to see something different in LA, so I rented a helicopter
Wow.
for like 30 minutes.
Unbelievable. And I got to tell you, in this image, you gave LA a much more, I think, urban feel. than if you were walking down Sunset Boulevard.
Well, actually, what I was trying to do was show how I felt because I felt sick. That's my vertigo. That's how I saw things because I was so dizzy.
Oh my God! Was it your first time in a
It
helicopter?
was. And the door's off, and you're hanging out, and there's a harness.
I've never been in a helicopter. That sounds a little scary.
A little different.
Well, okay. Where's that subway car from?
Well, that's New York.
Okay, thank God. I'm just going to ask. I won't assume. How did you get an empty subway car in New York?
Everyone says that. It was just the right moment. Everyone got off, and I had my camera in my bag, and I took it out and just shot it.
How long until it wasn't empty?
Maybe 8 seconds.
So you got this within 8 seconds.
Yeah, I took a few shots real quick and just...
Why is the lighting so beautiful?
It's my secret formula mix. I wanted to make the blue stand out, and I wanted to look kind of a sharp look, so...
He does have a secret formula. I'm not going to give up your secret formula.
My secret formula.
Okay, but I got to tell you, it's what I love most about you. It's not just your composition. I'm always saying this. It's really kind of what you evoke with the colors as well. Right here, you guys probably can't see this. I'm actually going to show this because I find this really fascinating.
Sure.
I'm only holding this up because I want to show people that this would be a fantastic piece for your living room or bedroom. And look at how it's mounted, you guys. Look at how easy this. Look at these 3 holes in the back with the foam core. But then it's literally, what's the process called?
It's infusion into metal.
Well, we know all about
So
stuff
it's-
that's infused here at Listen Vision.
There you go.
We know all about infusion, but what we don't know is about photographic infusion. How do you think they? I mean, I know you may
It's
not
pretty much
have the
baked
answer to
into an
this.
oven. And it's
They
just
bake
kind
it.
of baked at a super high temperature.
Uh-huh.
And it's into the metal.
And how do they? Do they have to print something out that they overlay on top of it and then bake
I
it?
believe so. I haven't seen the process, but I believe
Really,
so.
really kind of incredible.
I take the image and send it.
I'll tell you guys, if anyone's a photographer out there or someone who's a lover of photography, I think this is maybe one of the coolest ways I've seen photography displayed.
Yeah, I like that. That was on my wall. I took it down to bring it in, and yeah, I like that a lot. That's me standing on a rooftop at 2 in the morning to get that shot.
So I see a river. So are you on Governor's Island?
Long Island City.
Long Island City.
Yeah.
And did you know that you would have this view when you were
did.
over there?
It was a new hotel, so I made a reservation on purpose
Because
to
you
get on
saw-
the roof and get that shot.
And you didn't do like what's that movie that I love so much where they all get locked on the roof?
I always check. I always double check
What
the
is
door.
it? The Hangover, right?
No, I double check.
I feel like that's the worst thing that could happen
Exactly.
to anybody. Now, this to me, hold on, Mad Dog and Beans. You said it's New York,
It is.
but there's a part of this that looks a little Boston-y, only because of I think maybe the brick and the street. Wait, is this in Soho?
No, it's down by the Wall Street area. So it's a
And-
spot you don't see very often. It's kind of a out of the way part of New York.
Did you have to use a tripod and increase your aperture for this type of thing?
I did. I'm kneeling between 2 cars, sitting on the ground with my camera low. Yeah.
I
30
just
seconds
used
out.
all of my big words up, so just so you know, I have nothing left. Aperture was like
That was kneeling
I
between
was
2
literally
cars.
kneeling between. Oh, great.
People looking at
So
me
you
as they
also
walk
could have
by.
been crushed.
Yeah,
That's
this
fantastic.
tripod, I'm kneeling on the ground.
It's really incredible.
That one's 30.
Yeah, that was my next question. My next
usually
question was
stick
how
around
long
that.
is the exposure? He said 30 seconds. So 30 seconds is just enough to get that light.
Pretty much.
But then something like this, what's the aperture length on something like this that's so pristine?
That's probably like 6 to 7 aperture.
Uh-huh.
I actually don't remember for sure.
Right.
But I actually couldn't tell you.
Now,
I
were
shot a lot of that.
you actually standing on a floating piece of ice when you took
No,
this?
I was above shooting down
Okay.
in Iceland.
Okay. God.
There's a whole bunch of ice
Really,
floating around.
man, I gotta tell you, Roger, it's I'm not the guy who's supposed to be speechless. I'm the guy who's supposed to be, navigating this interview. But let me ask you, what do you think the best photographer looks for when he's in an area? So if you're a good photographer and you go into a city for the first time ever, what type of things do you tend to look for?
It's a good question. I think I tend to look for the iconic things that everyone's taking a picture of. You know, if I'm in Paris, I want to see the Eiffel Tower. And then from there, once I see all the touristy kind of stuff, I usually get out of that tourist area and find a place where people live without tourists, whether it's an ethnic neighborhood or whether it's early morning or late at night, where the people actually, how they live. And from there, that's where I get the most interesting.
And you do so much travel. Do you do any research before you go to these places?
I research it a lot before I go.
A lot.
Yeah, I usually have a game plan, so that I don't waste time when I get there.
So I've asked you what your 5 favorite places to go are.
Okay.
What are your 5 least favorite?
5 least favorite.
Or how about this? Give me one anecdote about when your travels went awry.
I'm lucky. I don't really have trouble. I usually can navigate things pretty well. I'm from New York. I can get around. I know my way around. But one time that I was shooting in the city, in New York actually, it's late at night. So I have my tripod set up. I got gear. So it's kind of expensive stuff. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm shooting across, the river. And I see these 2 guys coming towards me, like from the other side. And when people are looking at you. You can tell they're looking at you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, just play it cool. So I'm still shooting. So they come up, and the one guy's like, "Can I see what you're getting on your camera?" I'm thinking, that's a unique way to do this. So I show him. He looks at the screen, and then he looks at his friend who's got like a bag, and he nods to him, and the guy starts reaching into his bag, and I'm thinking, really? This is gonna happen right here? But the guy pulls out a tripod, and they're like, "We're gonna shoot here too." So these are just 2 kids who decided to take the same spot. They wanted to see if I was getting something good, so they could. But it was that whole drama, what's happening here?
And it's 1 in the morning.
And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, but that's what photographers tend to do. We tend to, you're probably up late at night painting, and it's just the way you do things at different hours. So
yeah.
It was.
So it sounds to me like whether you're smashed between cars, or you're shooting at 1 in the morning, or you're.
I'm always creeping around.
You're in the barrios of Sierra Leone or whatever. It sounds to me like you seek out where humanity is happening most.
I do very often. I want to. It's more interesting. It's a little different because nothing hasn't been shot before. Everything's been shot before. Mm-hmm. So you have to find something different, something more interesting for you, when you're taking pictures.
How long have you been taking pictures for?
Not that long. I'm all self-taught. I really started seriously maybe 4 or 5 years ago and just started doing it, watching videos, taking a few classes, and just practicing.
I just want to let you know that Roger is so good that I know Roger because I went to a random art show in Rockville with 2 little kids in tow and the wife. And literally, when you got small kids, you're just kind of running through things.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, we ran through this exhibit so fast.
Right.
But at almost the end of it, before you got to this little photo area, Roger's stuff was displayed. And I got to tell you, my wife and I were so incredibly taken by your work.
Really? Okay.
That, of course, he was the first guy I called when my sister-in-law needed some shots for her Bethesda salon and whatnot. But, tell me, if people want to, look at all of, more of your work, and they want to purchase either, prints from you, or they want to purchase, I'll call them originals, or whatnot, where can they find everything?
Probably the best way is my website. It's rogerbachelorphotography.com. Good luck spelling it, I guess. But everything on my site is for sale, and I update it constantly. So you can always look there and find something.
No, but your last name is spelled traditionally, right?
Yeah, it is.
Roger.
Batchelor.
Oh, okay, right. So Batchelor. ELOR. Roger Bachelor Photography.com.
Right.
We want everyone to go there.
Same thing on Instagram.
And here's why.
Why is that?
You're looking at me, oh God, what's he doing to me? He said that he would do this. And so you did agree to this. He said that if you go to his website and you like a photograph that is there, that he doesn't have, already on a print, that he will make you a print.
I will make you a print and get it to you.
Okay? Yeah. And I also suspect that for the right cost, if somebody wanted it mounted really, really nicely.
Sure.
Okay?
Acrylic, glass, wood, a
glass.
mug. Sure.
You can mount pictures on glass?
Well, I have someone else do it. I don't do that
No, of
personally.
course,
Yeah,
but
sure,
that's
glass. Yeah.
incredible. I had no idea. I found a company called Plaque that puts your stuff on wood, like real wood.
Yeah, I could do wood. I could do pretty much anything. There's a lot of different.
Okay. But for today, for now,
For today,
Roger's art and Roger sporadically will be here until 10 p.m. Okay, so what I want everyone to do is, if you're watching, I want you to come out to 2622 Georgia Avenue. We're literally at the entrance to Howard University. We're going to be broadcasting all day long. Okay, we also are 420 I-71 710 friendly, so come out and check out all of the treats and the goodies and the. Oh my God, what is? Yum yum yum. What is this? Oh. It smells so delectable. Oh, goodness gracious. And look at these, shout out to Marvin and the good people at Big Bang. Okay. Because Jamel Shabazz, another, he's a photographer. He's a well-known street photographer. Look at some of these incredible pictures that he has here from his book. Marvin, we're going to talk to you in just a moment. So if you want to kind of open to a few pages. So I'm going to talk to Liz, and then in just a moment, Marvin and I from Big Bang are going to go through some of the nostalgia, old school stuff. Because, I just came back from the Wild Style 35th anniversary at the Kennedy Center. We just got Grandmaster Kaz to donate some stuff. And every single Mural Mondays, I know this is random, but I always try to wear like an art tie. Okay, so this is my art tie for today. And this is from Christina Bilinek, who is a local artist here in Washington, D.C., who silk screens awesome images on old thrift store ties. And this is actually the Martin Luther King Library. Yes, Martin Luther King Library here in Washington, D.C. Okay, and I promised everybody, because, everyone knows me on Mondays as D.C.'s Ron Burgundy. Look at these cufflinks, baby. Look at those. Look at that. That is sexy, babe. That's sexy, babe. All right, so that's how I'm rocking it here. Roger, thank you so much for being with us. Everybody who's watching live right now, please come on out. These are all prints. Look at this. This is for purchase. This is for purchase. This is for purchase. All of these are for purchase, okay? And, of course, the big ones can be bought as well. But I want you to come out and check out his art all day. If you're really lazy and you just want to buy his art, go to rogerbachelorphotography.com. Okay? Roger, thank you so much again for being with us. Hold tight. We're going to talk here with Liz. Liz is, Liz's work is featured on our flyer. So let me tell you, Liz, first and foremost, thanks for being with us, and thanks for giving us a piece for the flyer.
For sure. Thank you.
I love your work.
Thank you.
And I feel like you are just like sticking your finger in the eye of Jeff Sessions every single time you come here with this hilarious photograph. Because he looks exactly... What was the mother on the Hillbillies, on the Beverly Hillbillies? What was the mother's name? I know y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. He looks like if you took her glasses off. And there you go. This isn't how I wanted to start this interview. I'm sorry. But I do want to talk, okay, because the first time you came, we didn't get a chance to interview you. Now we get a chance to interview you. And you guys, here's the piece. Here's this illustrious piece that is featured on our flyer for Mural Mondays. Now, first and foremost, what's the name of this piece, and what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, I apologize for being a little heavy, but this is actually called Sorrow. 2016, it was a lot, but like the main thing that inspired this was the passing of my father. He passed away from cancer.
I'm very sorry.
That I got thank you. The night that I got the phone call, I actually started this. And in an odd way, I want to say that it was kind of him pushing me, because when he was here, he was like my biggest fan. So he would always like, what are you doing with your work? Like, you need to be painting, this and that. And so I guess this is, I can't call it a homage to him, because it's more of a mourning, but it was something that, had to come out.
I think that's interesting. You actually just touched on something that is always something that I always did, because I'm an old DJ and music producer. Whenever I'd go through difficult stuff, I don't know about you guys, but I go right into the studio. I know B-Dub goes right into making a a DJ mix. Is that normal for us artists to
Yes.
do that?
It's absolutely normal.
Is that the? Because I'll tell you, my best pieces of music that I've ever done in my life came from the most difficult points in my life.
I mean,
Do you feel the same way with your art?
I mean, the thing about it is, with artists, we tap into things that people cannot verbalize. So when you're going through something that's so heavy and just so intense, there really are no words for it. You go back into your subconscious because I honestly believe that the subconscious is able to, like, that's where you have those deep feelings, those deep thoughts. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't tap into that on a regular.
Or don't have the ability to tap into it.
Right.
And I think that's fascinating. One of the most interesting parts of I think some of the new art that's coming out is that it taps into, in my opinion, new aspects of our culture and society.
Right.
I found a guy, and I know this is a really random story, but if you get cremated, this company will actually bake your ashes into a piece of vinyl.
Heard about that. Yeah.
And here's and I'm like literally kind of spitzing talking about this because I actually think to myself that I might want that for myself.
Okay. What's up?
I am, my father is my best friend in my life, and
Yeah.
I'll be honest with everyone here. He's also just been diagnosed with cancer.
Sorry. I'm really sorry.
And I say that because my father instilled jazz and vinyl and sample. I mean, just like everything who I am is from my father, really. What type of things did your father instill in you growing up
That's hilarious.
artistically?
I'll be honest with you. The last birthday gift I ever got from him was when I was 16, and he got me Miles Davis Kind of Blue. And it was, honestly, I love that album to this day.
We're going to choke up right
Yeah.
now. We're going to all choke up because my father's first record he gave me was Ahmad Jamal Tranquility.
Really?
I'm telling you. Unbelievable stuff.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
so if you were to attribute your art, like if your art had a sound, what would your art sound like? Roger, I'm asking you this next. You
It
better
would
get ready.
probably sound a lot like 80s music. Like 80s pop music.
80s pop music? Hold up, I'm going back to Roger. Roger, if your music had a sound and a style of music, what would it be?
Probably early hip hop because it was fresh, it was new, it was different.
You can only just accept what the artist tells you they would want their artist, their art to sound like. I have to accept that. I have to accept what you said. I have a different impression.
Okay.
I've known you for less time. I've been watching Roger for a couple years now, and I'm just like, he knows I'm a Facebook stalker. I like every single one of his posts. So when I see your work, I just want to say this to you. What I hear is like almost Afro-Cuban, like almost like Fela Kuti style stuff. And I'm not just saying that because you go to Africa a lot. I actually feel that even in your American paintings, this kind of ethnic, rhythmic, but then you know how congos and timbales, they kind of off at the same time. They're like on, but they're off, and that's kind of the beautiful part of music. Do you ever listen to music while you're painting?
Yeah, of course.
What do you listen to? 80s pop?
Oh, no, honestly, it varies. Like, I'm eclectic. Like, I go from like Korn to Miles Davis to what I mean, Gold Link. Like, it just
wow,
like literally
that
could
eclectic.
be one session. You know what I mean?
That's one painting. That's all those things
Literally.
into one. Well, you can in pieces like this. You totally make sense. And
Right.
what I love about this is the fact that when you talk about Afrofuturism, to me, Afrofuturism is kind of like the combination of African culture and days of old,
Right.
Because there's so much heritage and culture, but then also with like this optimistic, technological, financially empowered, healthy view of the world and yourself.
Right.
Do you do more of this? This is a style to me. Do you do more of this style?
Yeah, not so much in this heavy line, but more manifests itself like this in like more celestial planes.
And what is the name of that piece?
This one, it's called She Breathes Life or She Breathes Fire. It's just the lips of a woman, and out of that, she comes like the nebula, like the birthplace of stars, the birthplace of everything.
I love your ability to use light in that painting. I
Thank
feel like I can see like the, what is it called, Aurora Borealis?
Right.
You know, I feel like I see that in the universe there. And there's definitely in a couple weeks past, Marvin, there's definitely been a theme of female empowerment. Do you know what I mean? Last week we had this artist from Ghana.
Oh wow.
Who made all of his paintings with little tiny pieces of magazine.
Yeah.
And when he was all done, I mean, it didn't. I mean, it was just like it looked like a photo, but it was tiny little pieces of that.
Amazing.
And what was interesting was that he did this one black and white piece of this woman, and I didn't even realize it hidden in her. Can you see my face? Hidden in her. It was a gun.
Right.
Coming
saw
out
that.
of her mouth. And I'm telling you, go back in my timeline, I mean, or go back on our YouTube page. It's really incredible stuff. Do you
That's
ever
awesome.
hide images or consider, you know, like when you were doing this, you know, what is she saying? Those lips and that mouth and that empowerment of the woman, what is that woman saying?
In all honesty, like I never purposely hide anything. I work so much from the subconscious. Like the way it works for me is like I have the image just pops up. It's like something like a dream. Like it just kind of pops up. Then from that, I just kind of render it and create it. And then you get, you know, I pretty much tell people like, whatever you see, let me know. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But to me, that's what I love so much about art. I actually don't like when, you know, artists are somehow like insistent on, nope, this is what it is,
Right.
and that's what you should see.
It can be insulting, you know, especially when you see some art and then it's just like this person, they give you an incredible explanation of it. Like say it's a red dot, and then it's just like, oh, this is about the woman's femininity. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, and you
it's
just
too
kind of
much.
look at them like, what?
You're like, it's a red dot. What are you
know
talking
what I mean?
about?
Like,
That's
are
great.
you serious?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think that's an interesting point because we're at this place with art where, kind of like you said with photography, kind of everything under the sun's been done, right? And one of the interesting things that I got from going to the Wild Style movie 35th anniversary, you know, Wild Style was about Luis Quinones. His name was Zorro, this graffiti artist. Okay, and the lead character in the movie is Fab Five Freddy. Well, everyone knows Fab Five Freddy as being, you know, with Blondie, you know, on the first hip hop songs, Fab Five Freddy, you know, and all that stuff. But then he went on to MTV and, you know, an illustrious career. But what people don't know is that he was best friends with Jean-Michel Basquiat. What people don't know is that Fab Five Freddy himself was this absolutely incredible graffiti artist, you know. And so I think now what's happening, I think, in art is that art's doing this kind of like revolution, you know, where it was going for many years in this place where it's like impressionistic and this is what I feel and see, and now like the world and the country's like gotten so crazy and shitty and insane that we're like now moving towards almost just like capturing our culture and society and saying, look, that's art.
right.
And it's like beautiful because, you know, and here I am like, you know, making statements and stuff like that, but like that's what I see in this. That's what I see in this picture right here. That's what I see in this picture right here. You know, that's what I see actually even in your paintings. And when you tell me that this was spawned by, you know, the passing of your father, is that here we are. I know it looks, you know, cool and funky to anyone who's watching, but it wasn't. It was created by a beautiful woman who was going through a difficult time in her life. So you're actually just embodying reality.
Right.
If you say that the woman, you know, is a voice and she's speaking and she has, you know, a life in the universe, that's a statement, you know. And so now we're making these statements. What do you think is a statement that needs to be made through art that isn't being made right now?
That's a tough one because there's so many so many languages, so many things being spoken through everyone's art, and it's always different. I mean, for me personally, I can only speak for myself. Like, what I really try to do is to find the beauty in anything, especially in people. And I feel like that a lot of that, especially in our culture, is being taken away. Like, we're made to feel very ugly. We're made to feel very, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're worthless. We're a horrible scourge upon the earth. When in reality, I personally don't find that to be true. I think there's a lot of beauty and a lot of just the wonderfulness in life and just day-to-day human interactions. That's why you see me like kind of paired. You'll always see some sort of celestial, almost, except for this one.
I feel like this is so different than everything you've done. I feel like it's okay. We'll just poke him in the eye a few more times.
There's always a celestial
feel.
aspect or feel to the work, because I always want that connection. Because the reality of it is that, you know, I pick nebulas, I do stars, things like that, because that's really the birthplace of all life. You know, we're all made up of four basic elements, everything.
Yeah.
And I feel people need to become more attached to that, and maybe have a deeper understanding of that you really are a beautiful being. You're a part of something much larger than you, but it doesn't make you insignificant.
Insignificant, right. No, I think actually the word celestial for your art is actually perfect. And not just because I'm a huge tea drinker and love celestial teas, but you know, we have to start thinking differently. I think your art really allows people to start embracing, you know, other universes and concepts and beings. If people want to buy your art, if people want to commission you, where can they find you?
They can find me at Liz Stewart's Art on Facebook. You can also email me at artsybrowngirl@gmail.com. Working on the IG and the website now, so we're getting there.
and so if people want to get at you, that's artsy, ARTSY, Brown, BROWNGIRL,
Yes.
artsybrowngirl@gmail.com. Liz, thank you so much for being with us. We
Really
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do, if you want to switch with me, Roger, here, I'm going to do a quick little... here, Marvin, come sit down with me. We're going to do the world's most interesting retrospective. Oh, wow, look at that.
Gordon Parks.
Look at Gordon Parks here. Hold on a second. I'm just going to grab a chair here. Don't mind me.
You're familiar with, yeah. I didn't even know you were going to be here. I brought this book, so it's just kind of weird how things worked out.
Yeah, Marvin's an OG like myself, so we like to go back. And Gordon Parks is really... What book are we looking at right here real quickly?
So this is Jamel Shabazz, Seconds of My Life. A very old book. I'm not quite sure when it really came out. Maybe early 2000s. You may know better.
I don't.
Better than I do, but
I don't.
Yeah. Well, Jamel Shabazz, just a I guess you would call him a hip hop photographer. I hate to pigeonhole him, but
yeah, I do too. I mean, they call him a street photographer.
Street photographer,
which I think is even worse. Actually.
Yeah.
I think hip hop photographer is at least kind of cool.
So anyway, we'll do this quickly. And Jamel Shabazz just takes
You talk. I flip.
cool photographs of just regular people, and that's why I love the book. And I guess it coincides with kind of with the photography that you do and the art that the young lady has done and other artists as well, just of us and everyday people. And as what Jeremy was saying, it's kind of like art is going full circle, if you ask me. Well, I guess it's always gone full circle, but nowadays it seems like it's really going full circle with it coming back to the grassroots. So,
well, I actually think there's some juxtaposition that we have going on here. Let's do this, right? Look at this. I mean, these are the exact same subway cars.
yeah, I mean,
You know, these images, I suspect, were taken maybe 30 years apart. You know?
It's amazing.
And sadly, the cars haven't changed much. But, yeah, man, you know,
it's just...
photography is a really beautiful thing. And I'll tell you, it's really easy to do it wrong.
It is. It
my
looks
opinion.
easier, if you ask me, than what it is. But gentlemen such as yourself that have a real talent, I guess, as they say, a real eye for it, I guess it does come natural to folks such as yourself. Sure.
Sometimes you have to stay there and work it and take your time and try to get a feel for it.
Sure.
It's not always easy. Sometimes you have to work it and you have to spend hours to get one good shot. So it can come naturally, but sometimes it takes some work to it.
And these are just Roger's from New York. I'm from New York. Marvin's.
I'm not. I'm from DC.
He
Thank
spent
you.
good time in New York, though.
From DC. They got absolutely.
And a lot of these
lot of
really
fam in New York.
are scenes of just everyday life in New York.
Yeah, and what I like, shows a lot of the parades. It even shows just the man on the street.
Yeah.
As we all know, we can see right out here in Georgia. I mean, everyone is special. Everyone is, if you ask me, photograph worthy. Everyone's life is important, and so I guess from an artful standpoint, this is what this photography and yours and great photographers such as yourself represent.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting. Do you have the magazines?
Yes.
Yeah, let's check out these. We brought some incredible graffiti magazines today. Marvin's got such an awesome supply of kind of culture from yesteryear. I really wanted to kind of display some of these magazines, really show you some of these magazines, because I just got back, as I was saying, from the 35th anniversary of Wild Style, and Wild Style was you could even see some of Basquiat's famous crowns in the background of the scenes.
This magazine actually has Jeremy on the front. You'll all be very surprised when he was
that is totally
14 or 13, I believe. So I especially proud
so cruel. So
for
cruel.
him, where he's from.
So cruel.
Hey, but yeah. These are just basically old train cars from the 80s and the 70s of where you could quote unquote say hip hop all started, but it really did. So to people,
This is
yeah,
the stuff.
don't mind the page.
This is the stuff from Wild Style.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally how hip hop began. You got to remember, hip hop is a culmination of b-boying, graffiti art, DJing, and MCing. And what Charlie Ahern in the movie Wild Style simply did was only just document what was taking place in 1981, and instead of having folks act it out like on the Get Down,
Sure.
he actually went to the clubs.
Yep, absolutely. And what was going on back then, if you ask me, is what's going on now.
Yeah.
It sends chills up my spine.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. In some in a good way, some in not such a good way.
Sure. I would say the good always outweighs the bad.
Yeah.
But you still, when it comes to art, have to showcase the bad as well. And the bad, well, how can I say this? Because when you guys were talking about the parents, and that touched a nerve. So I don't want to go there because we all might get choked up. But when she was talking about how she created this painting, going through the trials and tribulations with her dad, although that may have been, I guess, maybe a bad thing at that time in her life,
Right.
it actually produced
Spawned
good
something
thing.
positive.
Yeah, so.
And so if you like Roger and I, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s in New York City, and every block smelled like piss, and there was kind of crack left and right and lots of homelessness,
Yeah.
it's very easy to see why places like CBGB's
Sure.
and Latin Quarter,
Sure.
and SOBs and all these places, the kids were rebelling. Okay, so when you take a kid who's 14 jumping into a train yard and spray painting, like literally endangering, not only his life, but also getting arrested.
Sure.
That's super counterculture. Okay, so then you also take some turntables, your mother's turntables that are in a big wooden old, remember how they were? They were pieces of furniture.
Yeah, about the size of garages.
So you take two gigantic pieces of furniture and start wiki. Wasn't supposed to be done.
Nope. Build your own speakers.
And then you put the headphone jack in. That's supposed to be a headphone, but you plug it into the mic jack. Now it's a mic. All of this was not supposed to be done. And so when you do counterculture and when you are looking for new avenues, new things are birthed.
Absolutely. And it all starts with the artist, believe it or not. That's what's so amazing. It starts from the one little spark, from a painting, from a sculpture, what have you.
Yeah.
You know, and this is where it all begins.
Entire movements
Entire
begin
movements.
this way. Begin
Entire
this way.
movements. Absolutely.
Marvin, thank
for
you
the
so
better.
much
Oh,
for
no,
all of
thank
this
you.
history.
Sorry
Also,
to take
can
up
we
so
show
much
them
time.
real quickly what you're going to donate to the museum? I think this is incredible.
Absolutely. Where did
Is that over there? This is.
brought,
Let me tell you, this guy Marvin is incredible archivist. I can't believe this guy actually has all these things. Look at this. I
yeah,
can't
a lot
believe.
of us.
And this is from Vibe magazine.
Yeah, a lot of
Wow.
us are still around,
Thanks.
including yourself.
Right.
Well, yeah, this is just this came out a while ago, but
The
I wanted
Vibe
to just
history of hip hop.
the Vibe history of hip hop, and I just wanted to donate it here to
Yeah.
the radio station because this radio station actually has a lot of things that coincide with this, and hey,
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Let me just quickly flip to a random page here.
sure.
Oh my God! Look at this random page. Microphone fiends, Eric B and Rakim. Okay, why did I flip to this random page? Because I'm psychic, and because they're coming to the Fillmore. They've reunited, you guys. Oh my God!
Wow.
Eric B and Rakim have got back
There it is.
together,
It is.
and they're coming. Anyways,
Awesome.
thanks so
Awesome.
much for
No.
taking a trip down memory lane
Thank
here.
you, bro. Thank you.
Roger, thank you again. Roger, bachelorphotography.com. Liz, we do hugs. We do hugs. Oh, Liz, artsy brown girl at gmail.com. Marvin, come on in here. Come on in. Everybody in. Everybody in. Come on in. A little tighter, Liz. A little closer. Yep. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we are. There we are. Okay, so this is the Mural Mondays crew. Okay, from now until 10 p.m., you can come out, purchase art, look at art, listen to DJs, check out our I-71 caterers, and even peep some old graffiti magazines and books that I promise you have never seen before. Okay? We are at the entrance to Howard University, 2622 Georgia Avenue. Please come out from now until 10 p.m. It's going to be lots of fun. And until next Monday, peace.